Hi! For this video, I wanted to show you what my books look like for this year and how I actually journal each day within my hobonichi, as well as showing you how I set up more of the creative pages within my TN. There will be timestamps so you can jump around to parts that are more interest to you. Just to begin with my old book and wrapping things up with this, I have just a clear cover placed on my 2024 A6. This isn't the Midori brand cover, it's just an off-brand one that I've used. But yeah, we're done with this. Moving on to my new book. So I have moved into my Paddington cover, and I just placed the clear cover on cover. The Himitsu Stranger cover that I was using is just put away until June of this year, when I'll switch covers once this A6 gets too thick. A thick book with the canvas cover is just too heavy for my liking. Going onto the inside, at the bottom I just tucked in this little sticker that I got from the Paddington stickers that I had. I liked this one. It's pink and it does say please look after this bear. I also have this Kita stickers, and they are just of little cats, which I just tuck into this pocket, and I quite like this guy sticking out. Here's a picture of my cat, and this is just the life book information pamphlet that comes with your cover. And then at the back I have a picture of my dog, and that's just to protect this image of Paddington also, so it doesn't adhere to this portion of the plastic. And here I just have some other pictures that I've printed to include in my pouch, and these are just Tamagotchi resources that I have just tucked in the back there. Okay, moving on to the inside of the book, I haven't changed anything from last year's setup, so everything is still the same. The yearly index I use to manage and track my back pain and symptoms, along with the key that I've made for myself. The monthly calendar is highlight of each day within each of the squares. The left column I use to collect quotes that I like throughout the month, and then the bottom I tend to note down any media that I've consumed. Okay, so these are the daily pages. I'll just do a quick flip through of each of the page. So this is New Year's Day. Here's a picture of my Tamagotchi wishing me Happy New Year, and I just journaled about that. I also completed the Winnie the Pooh puzzle that I mentioned in my last video. I did actually print a picture of that, and I was going to include this here, but I didn't like how dark the picture turned out, so I'm not sure what I'll do with this. I may include it here. On this page I normally just do a month roundup in pictures, because I tend not to write on this page, seeing as there's daily pages for writing. So I may keep this just to see at the end of the month if I would like to include it on this page, or I'll print another picture of that puzzle. I don't know, but yeah. So this is a little design from the Deco Rush, the little gifts Deco Rush from 2024's lineup, I think. I'm not sure the year, but this was the little gifts Deco Rush, and there was a little journal, so I stuck that in there to signify that I'm starting a new journal. I don't know, I thought it was cute. Moving on to January 2nd, I started my new job, so I received a welcome box with the company branding on here, so I just stuck that picture and I'm just covering it with a post-it note. But that's basically what happened here. And then I did take medication for my back on that day, so I put an icon dot sticker. Friday, nothing happened. It was just a normal day, normal work day. This was an insanely hot day, so I have little Charlie Brown here and just journaled about that. Again, nothing interesting happened. On Sunday, I've intentionally left this blank so I could show you how I would go about filling in this page. So I'll come back to that. Here I just have a picture of my thumbnail from last week's video. and some more journal entries. Nothing interesting happening here. This is just it's an article about AI, and I was in a meeting about AI within the business and expanding it and everything. So I just stuck in this picture because as somebody who detests AI, having to like, oh yeah, I also started reading Midnight Sun again, so I just have an icon dot there. Nothing else happening here. It's just a picture of my dog. Oh, I downloaded more Dramini fan fiction, so people mentioned that Manacled isn't really a good starting point for any Dramini fan fiction, and I didn't want to do myself a disservice, especially already being biased against the ship. So downloaded the disappearances of Draco Malfoy, and I wanted to include it here, but now I'm just kind of not into it. So yeah, I'm just not gonna include it right now because I don't know how I feel about that. Um, and then just more journal entries. I didn't journal yesterday because of my back. I couldn't sit down, so like for long periods of time. So I need to fill that in, and then we're on to today. I did already take my medication because of my back issue, so I have that there. But yeah, I will do this off camera. So just going back to the 5th. Okay, so on this day, mainly recorded last week's video and edited it, so that took up majority of the day. And then I also have started watching Dynasty, so I think I started that on Friday. Yeah, probably Friday. I definitely watched it on Saturday, and then here I have a picture of it to include and then to write about my day. So I'm going to zoom you in so you can see how I would go about filling this in. Okay, so here we are. I've just covered this slightly. I hope this is in frame. So on this day, like I said, I mainly just recorded, edited a video, and watched Dynasty. So I don't really have a lot to include for the daily entry. Normally, if I wanted to, or if I had a lot to write, I would not paste in the picture directly onto the page. I would just either tape just the top and have it flap open so that I still have the space to write in. But because I know I don't have that much to write in terms of daily recap for the specific day, I will be pasting it directly onto the page, and I'm not too phased by losing like the significant portion of paper. I will also, normally I use this left column to write any symptoms I've had relating to my back issues for the day. I don't need to write anything for this day in terms of symptoms, so I'm instead going to use this left column to write my thoughts on the season of season 1 going into season 2 of Dynasty. And then at the bottom here, well, I don't know where I'm going to place this picture, but I will just use that space to recap what happened throughout the day. And yeah, that's that. Okay, so now placement. I tend to not place two images at the bottom of the page because then it looks rather heavy, like on your, like when you're paging through, your eye just immediately sinks to the bottom of the page. It's not spaced out. If I put this down here or even next to it, on if I place it here, it's just too much going on the bottom, and I don't like how that looks. I think I will have to stick this up here, and then that will give me the bottom to write about the day. And then, like I said, this left column. The only problem with sticking in something repeatedly within the same spot is over time your journal will get thick on that space. So I do know I have another image within this portion on the other side of the page, but I don't think that will be an issue. It's just one page, so that will be fine. So I'm just going to paste this in. So I'm going to have to turn this because I don't usually write like when the page is completely horizontal. I do write at a diagonal, so I'm hoping that you can actually see this. And just reverse write, so ordinarily you would write like this, but I prefer writing that way. It just makes the line width slightly thinner. This is a fine nib, and I just find it's a bit too thick for my writing, even though it is a fine nib, so I prefer to reverse write. Okay, so that's the writing done. As you can see, when I write on the left column, I don't go all the way to the invisible line just because I start the right hand side against the invisible line and I stop one row before the end of the grid, just because I don't know, I just think if I were to write all the way to the invisible line, it just looks slightly cluttered in my opinion. I don't like the look of it. I did try it in my 2024 book when I first got it, and I just didn't like the look of it. So just over time, I decided this was what worked for me. As you can see, I did get some smudges because I didn't let the ink dry, and that's also why I changed to the darker pencil board, just so the ink wouldn't smear on the lighter color pencil board that I was using. But yeah, that's on me. I don't really mind it. It's fine. I should have waited a little bit longer. When it comes to this side of the page, I don't know if I want to decorate it anymore. I think it's like I do have some washi. Maybe we should. Okay, so I think I'm going to use this piano washi tape that I have. It also has a bit of gold, which would offset some of the yellow elements that they have on the image, and then that offsets, not offsets, but that kind of blends in with some of the yellow on the picture of Charlie Brown. Where would I place this? No. Okay, I'll stick that there, and then okay, I think I'm going to use one of these icon stickers. Then I'm out of my TV icons, so I'm just going to use an old sheet that I have just because I'm too lazy to reprint another one. And I'm going to stick this. We'll just go there. Yeah, not much. And in the top boxes, I think I'll just write. That should be dry by now, but I'll use this pencil board. Okay, I think that's it. I normally just write down, sometimes I will write down the task. So in this instance, I would have wrote that I wanted to record and edit a video. I also would have included upload, but I omitted that because I am writing in after the fact, which I normally don't do. And then I just wrote that I watched Dynasty. I could also write that it started raining. Okay, yeah, I think I'm done with this page now. So the checkboxes for me are either tasks to do, like those were tasks, things, events that happen in the day, such as I did spend the day watching Dynasty, and then it also was raining, so that when I am paging through the book, if I don't want to read the text, I can just look up at these boxes, and then if I want to know what, it's kind of a sign, like a summary in a way of the daily events, and then I will, if it intrigues me enough, I will read the text, like read the entry, or it's sometimes that's sufficient for me to know that, okay, that's basically what happened on this day, move on to another entry. I hope that's helpful and it made sense and just gives you a closer look of how I go about filling in my pages, and it's very minimally decorated. as opposed to last year. I will show you now how I decorated, how I will go about decorating the more creative pages in my TN. Okay, so that's basically how the page will look overall. I kind of don't like that these two are so close together, but I'm just going to overlook that. It's fine. Don't think I have anything else to say. Oh, I wanted to mention last week I had said that I am trying to focus more on including pictures of things that actually occurred within the day as opposed to having a more of a aesthetic pleasing visual spread. So for example, I mentioned I didn't like some of these pages. Like this one, I was supposed to include the picture of Draco, the disappearances of Draco Malfoy, but together the spread just doesn't look that good, in my opinion. So, and the reason I say that is because, let me go to, just prefer my old pages that were just, they just looked a lot better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just, to me, this just seems prettier and more fun to flip through, even though I'm just looking at the pages and not trying to, I don't know. I just prefer my old book. So I don't know if I like the way in which I am going with this new book. I haven't decided. Maybe it could also just be because I don't like change. I don't cope with change very well. So it's new, like it's a new thing that I'm trying. I'll see how it goes. I may revert back to what I was previously doing last year. On to the TN, I think. Okay, so there have been days that have passed since the first half of this video. I initially wanted to just take a break from recording just because of my back and then completely forgot about the second half. So I I think roughly a week has passed. So I don't really remember what I said in the first portion. So if I repeat myself, I'm sorry, I'll try to cut it out. Do you remember that I was going to show you in my TN? So let's just open this up. And okay. I hope this is in frame. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so this is just my January page for monthly intentions. Just stuck some of my stickers that I make there. This is a quote from Tyke's poetry on Instagram. Um, I thought this was really funny for some reason. It just, I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious. So I stuck that in there, and I think it kind of matches like the tones of the browns and pinks sort of go together. So it felt fitting. And then on the left, have just monthly intentions. There's not a lot because I'm still getting kind of familiar with my new routine. I have a lot more time in the morning because I start work somewhat late and then I finish really late. So I just don't have time after work to do anything because I'm so tired. But yeah, that's why it's really sparse looking. I did since the last week started and finished Manacled. I won't talk about it because I won't stop talking about it. I also started the disappearances of Draco Malfoy, which I have here. Just write it in for now. And Midnight Sun I DNF'd because it was just too much. Like honestly, it started off really good and then it just became so repetitive of this grown ass 100-year-old vampire obsessing like a teenage girl. No, it was too much. So that will be a DNF. Dynasty I started watching. I haven't watched anything else. Didn't do any more knitting or crochet, and I will start a puzzle this weekend. Anyway, this side of the page, I don't know what I'm going to do with it as yet. We'll come back to that. Moving on. So, okay, so these are little bits that I will stick in now and show you. This, I lost the footage of this. I don't know how it happened. Basically, I was watching Dynasty and I really liked Fallon Carrington's makeup. So I collected a few pictures of her makeup and here are pictures of her hair. I liked just how it looked. So I wanted to include that in here, and I've just stuck in the word inspo from my alpha sticker sheet. I kind of preferred the very clustered look of layering little bits together, similar to how I did it here. So that's just what I went with, and that's why I did it that way. For this side of the page, I think, okay, what do I have here? So I have these little bears from the game Cozy Grove that I've been playing, so I wanted to include that. And then I also have, I rewatched the movie The Other Woman, and this is just a still from that movie, so I thought I could stick that in. I'll probably, okay, maybe what we could do is I could stick this here and then write my thoughts on it. Actually, I liked how I did that. And I think in the middle, because I'm imagining if I do this, and oh my god, it's gonna move. If I do this, I'm imagining kind of like a just wall of text around the image, which is what I try to do here on this page. But I tend to not go over the invisible line just because it sort of looks kind of ugly to me. I think in this instance, I'm just going to try it and see how I like or don't like it at the end, because on this page you can see that there is the one space for the invisible line, so it does still look segmented. In my mind, I kind of want this to just be a complete, like the page filled with text from each corner, like the entire page filled with text. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. The only thing I don't like is that these two pages don't seem cohesive enough together. Like there's a lot of blue elements on here that are not on the side of the page, so it looks, I don't know, they just seem like they don't go, these two pages don't go together. I mean, it could, since like this was the first movie I watched in January, so I don't know, the colors seem off to me. Okay, I'll think about it. But basically that's how I would like to layer this, and then just do text. So at least I know that. And then here with these little bears. So this has a lot more color, so I think it will be fine on this page. You can't really distinguish specific colors from each other because it is quite colorful. So I think I could get away with this. Okay. Oh, and these aren't all the bears that are in the game. These are just my favorite ones. I think I'm missing one though. Did I not print it? I did not print it. No. Okay, that sucks. Well, I'm missing one bear that I clearly forgot to print. So we'll just use these ones, and I'm thinking I will just stick them like this and then write, oh, but that doesn't have enough space. Okay, if I take that out and then stick them, I think that is better. Yeah. So then I won't use this because it doesn't really go. Okay, leave that out for now. How would this look? Okay, it can't go there. Yeah, it has to go in the middle. I mean, I don't hate it that much. If I were to move the bears on this side with this. Okay, way too much going on, and this definitely does not go. So we'll discard that. Or could I do it like this? And then write about each bear here, and then maybe horizontally I could write like the bears or something, or Cozy Grove across there. Yeah, I think I prefer this because there's a lot more brown and there's a lot more muted muted tones. There's nothing, no color that's sticking out and distracting me. Okay, I think I'll do that, but maybe I'll do them in. So that's done. And then I guess this will just have to, okay, let me stick this in. I'll probably do the writing off camera and then come back to show you what it looks like with all the writing, just because I'm pretty certain the first part of this video had me writing, and that will just be so boring to see me writing twice and for a long time. Also, these pictures, I don't know what I'm going to write here because I can't exactly see what I liked about the makeup in these pictures. I don't know why. They look rather grainy and pixelated when I printed them, even these ones. So I'm not sure if it's because I just printed them off of wood that they look so terrible. I'm going to need my phone, which I'm recording with. Oh my god, is this straight now? Was it still skew? It still looks skew. Okay, third time's a charm, clearly. And if I stick that on there. Oh my god, do I hate it? I do. I think it's too high up. Why do I do this? I'm just gonna ignore that and just carry on. It shouldn't be this difficult for me to make a decision, but it is. It's gonna bother me. No, no, no. Okay, I think that's slightly better. Doesn't feel like there's any residue of glue on the page, so oh well. Seems somewhat centralized, so then there'll be enough space evenly throughout to write. I think we'll do that, and then on this page I'll just stick in these little guys. I think that's do I want to include this somehow? No, it really doesn't go. All right, I think what I'll do is write down a little blurb about how they died, I think, because that's basically what the game is about, and then that's it. This will be for Manacled, I think. And then this. Oh, I rewatched To All the Boys because of that 5 minute that Peter appeared in Exo Kitty. So yeah, I think I'll do that here. But I think I'm going to do that digitally and then stick that in here. And then we'll be done with this insert. Okay, so here we are. Just finished the entries, and this is how it looks. Just gonna move this to the top so it doesn't make any noise. All right. Yeah, so I just have the bears across there, and then next to each bear I just wrote a little blurb about them. I haven't completed Charlotte Pine's like story, so I'm not going to include that just until I finish it, and I didn't want to get any spoilers while I was refreshing my memory on Fandom Wiki. So yeah, I didn't want to find out what happens to her. I'd rather just play the game organically and find out. So that's this page, and then turning over, like I said, I just wrote down what I liked about Fallon Carrington's makeup, the main elements to it, and then just the fact that this is loose curls and whatever. Yeah, nothing really interesting there. And then here is my summary kind of and general thoughts on the movie. Like I said, it is a rewatch, so yeah, I like how the page turned out. I did want just the entire page to be covered in text. Also wrote on the picture, and I just wrote "Cry on the inside like a winner," which is a quote from the movie, and I don't normally write on pictures that I print, so I tried it. I don't think I'll do it again just because this paper has a coating on it, so that it's photo paper. And I don't know, I don't like the feel of writing on it. For some reason my pen kept like skipping. So I probably won't do it again unless I use a different pen, like maybe a ballpoint and not a gel pen. But that's that. Normally we'll write in the top corner what that entry is about. I know a lot of people do like little dot stickers or whatever. I can't be bothered with that. So I normally will write down, like here, I'll write down that it is a movie, or if I've read a book, it'll say book review. Again, movie, series, because I mean, God forbid I get amnesia and forget what these pages are about. So I think, I don't know if I want to write gaming on this page just to denote that it is from my game. I don't know. Okay, let me do it in, I'll do it in pencil and see if I like it, and then we'll commit with ink. You probably can't even see that, but I don't like it. It just, I just don't like how that looks. It doesn't, for consistency with all my other pages, it makes sense, but in terms of this page specifically, I think I prefer it without the category tags. So I'm just going to erase it. Yeah, I think that's fine. Hopefully I don't get amnesia and forget what this is, but even if I do, I mean, it's okay. This says inspo, so I don't need to write anything. And then for this, I don't have the title that says movie, and I don't think I'll include it just because it will mess up with the layout that I had in mind. Yeah, that's how I did these 3 pages rather. Just, this seems like a very short portion of the video. I don't know if it's substantial enough. Okay, what else? I think like my tips would be, or just what I do, I tend to make sure that both pages visually look good in terms of either the content will relate to each other, or if not, in this instance, they don't. We'll try to make sure that there aren't any distractions like contrasting colors where my eye will just like, how do I explain this? Like if I had used this picture somewhere, let's imagine I stuck it down here instead of Charlotte, this page looks fairly cohesive on its own. It looks put together, it looks decent, but together as a spread, it just kind of clashes. The bottom portion looks heavy because there are 2 square-ish, well, rectangle and square elements. They're taking up a significant portion of the space. It just doesn't look balanced. It just looks kind of messy. So that's something I would consider when it comes to layout as well as color palette. I don't know. I think just whatever suits your own style. Like I know what I like, which also doesn't really help somebody if you're new and trying to learn. I mean, the only way you will get better at something is if you do it and then see whether you like it or not. But to find what works for you. So layout, color, what else? Probably sounds so insane, especially like your journals and your books aren't your absolute obsession. As yeah, I can understand how this could sound. I think that's it. Actually, so I do have a few pages left in here. I think what I'm going to do is manacled. I wanted to do an Animal Crossing one and my Sims family. I don't think I'll do the Sims family in this book just because I need to sort out my save file. Animal Crossing I haven't played in ages. I will do Manacled. I mean, definitely. So I'll do Manacled. I don't know if I should do it in this video though. Well, I don't know if there's enough footage to begin with. I will try to include Manacled, and I'll try to include a thought process on why I'm sticking in things. And maybe I can also show you my digital spread that I've done on Manacled because obsessed. I mean, the spread, and then we can do it together. I just need to print out the pictures that I want to use, and then yes, and then we'll do this. Okay, I already printed some of my pictures here. So I have that. Okay, I don't think I have anything else. So I started Manacled on a whim because I just DNF'd Midnight Sun, and I thought, I knew while I was reading that I would just do a normal review page on it, and like I consumed that book at an alarming rate. So I knew I would have a lot to write about it, and I wanted it I wanted enough space so that I could write whatever I felt that I was reading. This was around 400-page mark. I think at this point I had, because I finished the book in like three days, maybe 4. I don't know. But that's all I did was read the entire day. Before work, during my lunch, after work, just read until like 1-2 in the morning, and then repeat. So I knew I had a lot to write about the book, so I valued the space. And then as I started reading more, there were so many good quotes. Oh my goodness. And I just kept highlighting all the quotes that I love. So I knew I will just fill the next page with just quotes, and that will separate my thoughts. So I don't need to worry about leaving space within the page to include quotes and like limit my thoughts on the book in any way. So that was good. And then I got to the part about the paper cranes, like the origami cranes, and I thought, oh my god, I should totally make a crane, and then I could put it in my book too. So I made one, and it's a little bit wonky. I watched a YouTube video, and I mean, I looked for the shortest video, which was 3 or 4 minutes long. This took me 45 minutes to make. I don't know why. Why it was so difficult for me. So it's kind of wonky. It's not like a well-made crane, but I've never done origami before, so I think it's fine. Also, so while I was reading, I decided actually, instead of doing the quotes on the side of the page, I could just write them on this crane, and then I'll include the crane within like my spread, and then I'll always have it. I won't stick it in, but I can write all over it, and that way it's like a little bit of an interactive thing in my book, which I tend to gravitate towards and do. And then I finished the book and was just so consumed by everything and had so many thoughts and just wanted more and more and more. So I got a lot of pictures online, which brought me to these pictures. This is from the book, and then I just printed that out, which I actually think I'm going to stick on there. So yeah, and then the idea came that I would do it like this and have that picture, and then do the little crane on this side. The problem is this crane is too thick. Like, I didn't use proper origami paper because I don't have any. This is just normal copy paper, and it's thick. So I don't think I like the uneven, like when you close the book, there will be this uneven kind of, I don't know how to explain it because of this, how thick the paper is. So I'm probably not going to include it on the page, and we'll just tuck it into one of either in the zipper or one of the other pockets at the back. But I am going to do the quotes on that because it's in my mind and I can't get it out. I also did a digital spread because I just couldn't contain myself. So I'll show you that real quickly. Printing this and pasting it into my book. And yeah, I just kind of drew the rows, and I just enjoyed this so much. So I will block the text just to avoid any spoilers. I'm not going to talk about the book or anything, but if there are quotes that you'll see, those you'll be out of context spoilers, I guess. I kind of don't want the physical spread to match that in any way. I want them to look different. So we're gonna try and do that. I think for layout, because this is a neutral color palette, so I don't need to worry about that. It's just mainly the layout. So I think I still want this in the top left corner like I normally do. I would prefer, so this isn't going to get stuck in. I just need to write the quotes on the crane. And then I think I don't want to stick that directly onto the page because it just doesn't stand out enough. So I'm probably going to stick it on this picture just so it has some nice contrast. And then I don't want this here because that's too matchy, so it has to go on this side of the page. I'm thinking here maybe like a little flap, so I could just put washi tape on one side. That way I still get all the space to write, and I can just stick this on top and like see what's underneath it. On this side, I could just write down the, like I could just continue whatever I'm writing down there. I won't include any quotes because they are there, they'll be on the crane. So maybe I could include a quote at the bottom since I have space there. I don't know. I don't know if I like this. I'm kind of not liking it as I envisioned that I would. Like, this is how I imagined that I would do it, but now I'm just not liking how it looks. So I think I will, do I even need this picture? I could just have this one here, and then it could flap upwards. Then I'll still be able to write. How would those look together? Not bad. Oh, okay, and then with this, yeah, I don't like that. If I put it at the bottom, no, it doesn't stand out enough. Okay, let me stick that in. Okay, that doesn't fit if I offset it like I had it before. So if I'll stick these two together so that I could still do the little flap, which will be fine. And then writing all over. Could I stick this on top and then have that flap upwards? I don't think I like that either. Yeah, okay, I think I'm not going to use this picture after all. Even though I like it, I may include it somewhere else, but I'm just not going to use it right now. So then that would leave this page open. I could do the disappearances of Draco Malfoy because that I have about 200 pages left. So I could do that there. I'm almost done with this book. I just have these two, and then the last page, which will be reflection. This will be, what did I say I wanted to do here? I think I wanted to do The Sims or Animal Crossing. Yeah, either both or just one of the two. I'm not sure, I can't remember. But that's what I'll do on that page. So I can just leave this blank. Okay, I think that's what I will do. Also, okay, I like that idea. Let me do it and then I'll show you what I've done and how it looks at the end, just because I think I've rambled on enough, and I think it'll be really boring to watch. So yeah, I'll come back and show you and zoom you in so you can see what it looks like, but I will just probably blur out a lot of the text, so just to avoid any spoilers, because I obviously don't want to spoil this for anybody. Okay, so this is how it looks. I just covered the little paper crane in all the quotes that I liked. I was supposed to do like on all sides of it. It was just very difficult to write on because of how thick it is, and yeah, all the different creases. So I just did it on the pages that you can actually see and not underneath. This crane is literally disintegrating before my eyes. So there's that. Yeah, I think it looks decent. I'm quite happy with it. This is flapping. Let me just put this down. Okay, nothing much to say. This first portion I have here, I've just written that you could not tell my childhood self that in January of 2025 I'll be obsessed with fan fiction, and not only that, rooting for Hermione, like never, absolutely not. So that was just reflection, kind of. And then under here I just wrote a summary of what the book entails, and yeah, it's basically a summary of the book. And then on this side I have what I liked and did not like about it, which I won't say because that will be a spoiler. But yeah, that's ultimately what it looks like. I will say, for just a tip, if you are doing any kind of tip-ins, to stick them in before you start writing, because if you just start writing and then stick in your pages after, you could end up covering some of the text underneath. So I always stick them in first, and then just as I was writing, I noticed I was getting close to where the tip-in starts or would cover the underneath this portion of the page. So I just flipped it over and then looked at the spacing, and I thought, okay, I should actually zoom you in. Okay, so that's how it looks. So while I was writing, I noticed that I was approaching close to where this picture would lie, and you kind of want to imagine how the book looks when it's complete, or like how the layout looks once it's complete. So I knew I was going to leave a paragraph line anyway, but if I started the next sentence, it would kind of be covered, because there's the next square, it would kind of be covered halfway by this picture, and that just doesn't look really nice. So instead of leaving two, like a paragraph space that's two grid boxes wide, I just drew a line, because then it looks, I'll just turn that, then it looks kind of what's the word, it looks a little bit more intentional. You're obviously not going to write on top or below any line that you've drawn. So yeah, that's just a way to divide the page slightly from different forms of text, and also taking into account how it would look overall at the end, and trying to not interfere with any interactive elements, I guess. God, I hope I explained that properly, but that's just how it looks so far. I don't think it's super matchy to my other spread. I don't hate that. I think if I did use this picture, it would look very... I kind of like it though, but I won't use it. It does still look like it matches a little bit too much. Not like these will ever be pictured to... I mean, no, that's a lie. Look at me just absolutely blatantly lying to myself. I for sure will be taking pictures with these spreads anyway, so yeah, I think that would just be far too matchy. Okay, so I'm glad I didn't do that. Want me to show you how I do the digital journal spreads? Then let me know. It's not that difficult. I mainly do paper planning and journaling, so not much planning actually. I mainly do like paper journaling, so I don't tend to do digital very often. I do it for more of a creative outlet, and you get a lot more options when you do things digitally than you would with physical items. So yeah, if you want to know how I do the digital pages, then just let me know, and I still print them out for my book anyway, like these and that one. So they were all done digitally, and then I just printed them out for my book. Yeah, I hope this has been helpful. It's mainly just moving things around and getting the layout done so that it looks nice, and I am conscious of placement in terms of the layout. Like I said, I tend to stick things within, like at opposite ends of the page, like opposite from each other and not next to each other, just because it looks heavy to the eye, and I just don't like how that looks. Also color, I'm conscious of like color palettes, monochrome, so whatever I stick on this side can't be like a very colorful picture. Let's see if I have something. Okay, here. I wouldn't necessarily stick something colorful on the other side, just because they clash with each other. It looks kind of ugly. Even if I were to write on this page, it just doesn't look like... it looks weird. So I would consider something... what do I have? Okay, I don't have anything here. Okay, what about this? Could this work? Even though this does have colorful, like it's Snoopy with blowing out candles on a birthday cake, and it does have color on it, it's not that. It's not so colorful that it detracts from the rest of the page or draws your eye away from what's going on and solely focuses on that. This is kind of pleasing to your eye. If you were to include something, like if I were to include this, it would still be, and I think this would be the placement that I would choose. So kind of between these two, not at the bottom, middle, kind of. It does make it awkward to write on either side. I don't think I would go inwards, because then this looks rather cluttered. So maybe like that. I think that looks decent. I still would centralize it ever so slightly. I'm obviously not going to stick this picture in, but that's just kind of what I keep in the back of my mind when creating my pages, just because I don't want something... like they need to look good together. even if they are two entirely different topics. I think this is it. I don't think I have anything else to say about this, but if you're still confused or have questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer any of them. Next week, since I just literally have these 2 pages left, I will be creating a new insert. So I think in next week's video I will do how I could do a video on how I make my own TN inserts. Yeah, hopefully it inspired you in some way and you found it helpful. And hopefully I see you next week. Take care. Bye.